Sri Lanka has announced formally through the Foreign Ministry that it is going to endorse, co-sponsor the resolution that adopts the provisions of the 2015 resolution this year. It came as an enormous surprise to me. For one thing, the 2015 resolution had never received the approval of the population at large in this country. There have been enormous protests launched against it. People have discussed it and criticized what we did in 2015. And now it appears that we are going to co-sponsor the resolution this year, which endorses the 2015 resolution and also provides us further time to implement the provisions of the 2015 resolution. Now, this creates problems in more than one way. For one, the new action of the government does not seem to reflect the sentiments of the population at large. In a democracy, I do not think this is the way to operate internationally. It will diminish our standing internationally as a country, and also it will have the effect of isolating us as a country that does not reflect the views of its own people. In parallel, we have to remember that the president of this country has publicly stated that he does not endorse the 2015 resolution. By endorsing the resolution of 2019, we have gone against the sentiments so clearly expressed by the president. I do not think that this is the way, the proper way to respect the country's head of state of this country. He has been isolated and he has been made to feel powerless in the international arena. This does not reflect too well on the country as a whole. And thirdly, there were provisions in the 2015 resolution which were absolutely intrusive. They interfered in the domestic affairs of this country. It required the country to take measures to amend the constitution. It required the country to change its judicial system by inserting foreign judicial personnel into processes referred to in the resolution. It required the country, the state, to return land occupied by the military. These are not matters for the Human Rights Council. These are essentially matters within the sovereign domain of the state of Sri Lanka. By intervening in this manner, the international community showed a severe lack of respect for the sovereignty of this country. And of course, we went along with all these provisions. We ourselves endorsed this resolution. We co-sponsored it. Personally, I think that was a betrayal of the highest order. We know that as a result of the provisions of that resolution, which are based on the Darusman report, we know that the Darusman report has been criticized universally within this country. It has been based on elements that have not been substantiated and cannot be substantiated, and still we went along and co-sponsored that resolution. Similarly, the High Commissioner produced a report based on the Darusman report. We go along with it. This, I think, is a very short-sighted and a measure which will impact negatively on the country for a long time to come. As it is, we know that certain military leaders have been refused visas to go to certain countries, even to visit their own children, because the resolution of the Human Rights Council has endorsed the Darusman report and the High Commissioner's report, which contain allegations, unsubstantiated allegations about their conduct during the conflict. this is only one aspect of it. There will be others. Now the High Commissioner has called certain countries to initiate judicial proceedings based on the concept of universal jurisdiction against military personnel of Sri Lanka for acts alleged to have been committed during the conflict. Of course, we know that there are organized groups who will produce evidence, truly or falsely, for the purpose of embarrassing our leadership, our military leadership. I think what is happening through this process, and a process which we have as a country endorsed and co-sponsored, the process will result in the LTTE winning through the international community what they could not win through terrorism and violence. And this is something that we need to be absolutely conscious about. If we had hoped that by co-sponsoring this resolution, we would get into the good books of certain countries of the Western group, I think we are sadly mistaken. For one thing, we have lost our self-respect. We have created a stick for our own backs. And thirdly, had we hoped for better trade relations, we know from statistics that this has not happened. Our economy has not improved an iota as a result of what we did in 2015. In fact, it has regressed. And if we are hoping for things to get better in the future, I think that is a vain hope.